Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's talk about Laes, Seals Q Corp. It did skyrocket along with IonQ, the stock that kickstarted the quantum hype yet again. And I think I called this last time. I told you people, these quantum hype cycles, the AI hype cycles, the robotics hype cycles, they're going to come and go. You want to position yourself when no one wants them, and then they explode, and then you dump it on their heads. Now, I just want to say something and I want to make this very clear. And the reason I'm making this video, LAES is probably one of the riskier quantum plays. I know a lot of people that are not as savvy in terms of how to interpret the stock market and the financials. They look at this $3.48 stock and think, wow, this is cheaper than IonQ by like 10x, right? It's literally 10 times cheaper, over 10 times cheaper than IonQ, the one that kickstarted the quantum hype. And I just took a long pause because I want you to really think about what I'm about to say. The quantum hype has come around. IonQ right now IonQ, big green candle. Last time we got a hype cycle on IonQ, it just kept going. LAES here, red candle, lots of wicks up here, getting pushed down at this previous resistance. What does that tell you? Because I know what that tells me. I'm gonna pause for a second and let you really think about what that means. I want you to look at this chart and what does that mean? What are you seeing here? Are you seeing a longer term double top? Why is it that IonQ is big green on Friday, but this one closed red? Because what people care about are the ones that are the best. And LAES, the reason it's seeing a red candle and it's selling off and not showing as much strength as IonQ is because IonQ has the better financials. We look at LAES here. Let's see if I can pull up the financials real quick. I'll also show you the IonQ financials just for comparison. But we look at the income statement. We look at the bottom line because that's what we care about. And what do you see? I don't know, man. This looks ridiculous. Okay, so 2020, 15.25 million in total revenue, right? 2021, 18.59 million in revenue. It went up. That's cool. And then it went up again, 2022, 24.29 million. Then it went up again, 33.45 million. 2024, all of last year, they dropped from 33.45 million to 12.47 million. They dropped 62% in revenues. Now, if you own a business and your revenues, you see them drop by 62%, are you good? That you got a problem on your hands, right? If you run a business, if you were making 1 million last year and then suddenly you're making less than 400K, you probably have a problem, right? I would hope so. I would hope you would recognize that. That would be weird if you were like, no, there's no problem, Shades, I'm good. Sure, I'm making 62% less. Yeah, no, their numbers aren't that great. So income statement, when you compare it to IonQ, let's look at IonQ just for comparison, just because I want you to see and notice the difference. 2020, 0. 2021, 2.10 million. 2022, 11.13 million. 2023, 22 million. 2024, 43 million versus 2024 LAES, 12.47 million. And that was a drop from 2023, whereas this was nearly a double from 2023 to 2024 for IonQ. And the balance sheet looks fantastic, 511 million assets to 127 million in liabilities. Remember, that doesn't mean that LAES can't be successful. I'm just saying if I had to choose between the two, I would choose IonQ. Now, if you want to take a little more speculative of a bet, you would go with LAES. But you still have to recognize, like, okay, well, yeah, there was that. They better recover here. If we have another year where their revenues just drop, just absolutely drop, if we see that come down from 12 million to like 6 million, I mean, something's way off at that point. So it's a riskier bet. And because it is a riskier bet, you're seeing that reflected on the price action. That's why people are selling off that one much quicker. And people are going into IonQ because that one does have the revenues literally doubling every year. And I think that's what people forget is, oh yeah, it is 10 times cheaper, but it's also riskier. It doesn't have the financials to back it up. Sure, if LAES goes to 50, you have the potential for 10x plus, but you know, people always compare AMD to NVIDIA, and I always tell them NVIDIA is better than AMD. Always has been, always will be. I mean, Coke is better than Pepsi. Not talking about the companies behind them, I'm talking about the sodas, but you get the point. Coke, better than Pepsi. They can both exist and succeed, but at the end of the day, you would probably be kicking yourself. I'm going to show you something very interesting here. You would probably be kicking yourself, in hindsight. You would probably be kicking yourself if you looked at NVIDIA and AMD and you decided I'm going to go into AMD instead of NVIDIA because it's cheaper. You would be kicking yourself. Why? Because over the course of its lifetime, AMD has only brought 732% return. Versus NVIDIA bringing in 331,606%. 331,606% return. They both exist. Both companies exist. Both are, successful, right? But as an investor, you would hate to not go into IonQ and you go into LAES thinking, oh, it's cheaper, so it's going to perform better and it's going to give me so much more return. But that could be very far from the reality. You might end up with the AMD. LAES might end up being the AMD, right? It might end up, yes, it'll be successful. It'll give you a return, yes. But you'll be kicking yourself when you look at IonQ is the one that call themselves the next NVIDIA of quantum computing. If that's so, then we would see massive 300,000% plus returns at some point. And that's a massive jump. Like, hey, I picked an AMD over NVIDIA. Damn, I missed out on like 300,000 plus % return. That's insane. That's insanity, actually. So the point I'm making is LAES, much riskier of a bet. If you want to play it safe, better to go with IonQ. That's not to say, again, LAES can't be successful. It absolutely can, but in terms of potential for return, it would really suck to buy LAES, and it turns out to be AMD. Now, shades, what if LAES becomes NVIDIA and IonQ is AMD? Ooh, what about that, shades? I agree with you. If that happens, ouch. But hey, you still made money. I mean, it's not a bad thing. You still made money, just not as much. But right now, as of this moment in time, IonQ is the better buy. If we were to do the Warren Buffett method, we would pick IonQ because it actually has growing revenues. Whereas I just showed you here, SEALSQ does not. And that's why you're seeing people, quicker to get out of LAES. Look at that big red candle here. Versus IonQ having a nice big green candle. And possibly might break out higher. RGTI, what? Look at that big green candle. Funny enough, the other stronger names in quantum computing are performing better. And buyers are showing up more for those. So I just wanted to show that difference. A lot of people always ask me to compare AMD to NVIDIA, and I'm like, what is there to compare? NVIDIA is just better. It just is. I mean, they're both succeeding, but one just brings massive returns versus the other. In the same time frame that you invest in AMD, you could have made way more with NVIDIA. That's just the reality. People can argue whatever they want. That's just the data. I'm just a messenger. I'm just giving you the data. It's there. Anyways, LAES, I would keep an eye on this one moving forward to see how it continues to perform on those revenues. If this has another red year on revenues where it just keeps going down or just sideways, that's, I would be very, I would probably maybe start to think about moving somewhere else. Just because a stock is $50 or $100 doesn't mean it can't go to 1,000. You've seen it with Netflix recently. So don't underestimate how much the share price can move off a stock. It can move quite a bit. The stocks can go to 1,000. They've done it before, and history will repeat. I'm sure we will see one of these quantum stocks go to 1,000 just as much as Nvidia went to 1,000 recently as well. It'll happen. It'll take time. Too many people, they hear me say that and they think it's going to happen tomorrow. No. It's going to take years. But when it happens, you're going to be wish you were in it right now. So my recommendation, I would go with IonQ over LAES for now. Until LAES shows you like, hey, our revenues are going up. Hey, we got a lot coming. Hey, it's looking good. As of right now, it's too speculative of a bet compared to the other one, just on the numbers. That's it for the video. I just wanted to explain more than anything why one is moving while the other one is showing weakness.